Pregnancy and then motherhood is an amazing journey that shifts the focus and pushes a woman to reevaluate her priorities, or so they say. Let's see what Aoife thinks about it. Who is she, you ask? She's a 27-year-old proud mommy of 19-month-old Kriya and fiance to Kriya's dad, Craig. On July 14th in 2018, Aoife met Craig and fell hell over heels in love. She thought it was too good to be true. Aoife felt Craig was the perfect gentleman and best suited for her. They never spent a day apart and moved in together almost straight away. September 10th, Craig asked Aoife if she would like to be his girlfriend. However, Aoife was introducing herself as Craig's wife from that point on. They, however, got engaged a year later on the day of Kriya's christening. May 12th, 2019, Aoife and Craig found out they were pregnant. The night before, they had been out for drinks, but when she woke up, she felt different and she knew it wasn't a hangover because she didn't drink much. She then realized that she had missed a period but had not paid any heed to it because she was on the pill. But just as a precaution, she took a test and it was positive. She was in pure shock. Craig was sitting beside her, grinning from ear to ear. Once the truth sunk in, she started crying, but they were happy tears and tears of joy. Both Aoife and Craig were over the moon that they were going to have a baby, and their perfect life together was about to get even more perfect. Her pregnancy test said pregnant 1-2. When they made the doctor's appointment, she told them that they were only about 4 weeks pregnant. Sometimes it's scary finding out you're pregnant that early because so much could go wrong in the early stages. Any little pain used to scare the life out of her. She had so many hopes and dreams for this little baby that was the size of a poppy seed growing in her tummy. The main thing Aoife had wished for was a happy baby, a healthy baby. She loved being pregnant. She wasn't sick much, and only after long car journeys did she feel a little uncomfortable. She still had loads of energy. This obviously changed near the end of her pregnancy, but she was still able to work and move about. She loved every single kick, and the moment she felt them, she would get the camera out to video record nearly all of them. They went for their first scan at 11 weeks. They sat in the waiting area and felt they were on cloud 9. They were so impatient and just wanted to get in and see their baby. As the doctor was scanning, Aoife was laying on the bed like a giddy schoolgirl watching their baby, but also enjoying the pride and excitement seen in Craig's eyes. The doctor stopped scanning and he just looked at them and said, "I'm not happy with the shape of the head. You will have to go and sit and wait." They were so flabbergasted because he said, "I need a second opinion." For a moment, she felt sick. This is their first baby, their first scan, and that was their first impression of the hospital. How could someone be so indifferent and show no empathy in a crucial time like that to a young couple who were clearly over the moon and ready to see their first baby? They were left sitting in the waiting area for an hour, watching all of the other excited parents go in and out, feeling extremely happy after seeing their babies, while they sat there upset, with tears flowing down their cheeks endlessly. At last they were called. They went into the room to get a second opinion, and the sonographer explained to them that there was some extra fluid around the baby's neck, which can be a strong marker for Down syndrome. She told them she was going to book an appointment for them in Dublin so Aoife could get her blood work done to confirm if this was what the fluid meant. What a shock. How can this happen to a young and healthy 25-year-old woman? Aoife thought this could only happen to older patients. They discussed and took a unanimous decision. They felt so lucky to be able to say they were having a baby. Well, not everyone in the world is lucky enough to say that. Whatever the outcome, the baby was their baby, and they would love and care for their baby unconditionally. After a week, they got a call for the appointment in Dublin and got the blood test done. As Aoife was signing the form, she learned they could find out the gender, and she definitely wanted it, so she said yes. The waiting period for the call was torturous. In the morning, the doctor called and gave the news that the baby has a high possibility of suffering from Down syndrome. Aoife replied, "No problem. I was expecting that result anyway. Can we please just find out the gender?" There was a pause, and then an unusual question was asked, one she never wanted to hear. "Do you want to discuss your options first?" "Not at all," was her reply. Then she was told they were having a girl, and she literally cried her eyes out before he finished the sentence. They shared the news excitedly with everyone. Aoife's mental health, though, started going downhill. She started blaming herself, thinking this was due to some mistake she had made. She started wondering, will she be happy? Will she be healthy? Will she live a normal life? Will people make fun of her? Where had they gone wrong? And how could they have avoided this? No answer at all to these questions. Looking back, Aoife realized that this is something that just happens. But when the mind is playing tricks, it can just take over. Thanks to Craig, he helped her focus on the positives every day and was there to talk to her and to listen to her as well whenever she was feeling low spirits. She remembers speaking to her Nana and becoming a ball of emotions. Aoife was her only granddaughter for 18 years, and now her granddaughter was giving her her first great-grandchild. How exciting for them. When Aoife told her about the Down syndrome, she looked at her casually and said, "So what? God wouldn't give you anything you couldn't handle. He only gives the special babies to special parents." My, she was so encouraged. This is something that keeps her confidence level high, and she uses it to boost the confidence level of other people who face a similar diagnosis as well by repeating those exact words to them. At her 28-week scan, they found out that Kriya had a blockage. The passage from her stomach to her bowel was blocked. This means without surgery, she wouldn't be able to eat after birth. In other words, she wouldn't be able to poop. She would just vomit it if she were to eat. Again, sadness crept into her mind. She started wondering why her body doesn't work properly, and she blamed herself for it. On December 28th, when she was 34 weeks and 4 days pregnant, her water broke, and she was off to Dublin to meet her baby girl. They had Kriya via C-section as she was breech, and Aoife did not want her moved in case it put her under stress. She arrived kicking and screaming at 11:57. She was so beautiful. She was perfect, and she was theirs. She got a chance to see her for about 5 minutes. She looked in her eyes, she touched her face, and she just can't find the words to describe the ecstatic feeling. Then Kriya was brought to the NICU because they had to arrange for her drip feeding before she would be ready to undergo the surgery. Aoife couldn't see her for about 4 hours as she was waiting for the numbness of her spinal tap to wear off. When she finally held her, Craig was standing there proud as punch. Their lives were complete. 1 day old, Kriya sat up in Aoife's arms, and from that day she knew her girl was going to be a fighter. She knew she would be able to break any hurdle that might try to stop her from getting ahead. The surgery to rectify her blockage was performed when she was just 5 days old. She could not resist her tears when she saw her afterwards with an epidural. It killed her seeing her so groggy and weak, but she knew she would be on the mend soon. She had to stay in the hospital for 4 weeks just to heal. They were so excited to get her home and spend time cozily, just the three of them. But then something went wrong with Aoife as well. Postpartum depression hit her like a bus, and she suffered from it for about 5 months. After a couple months of feeling worthless, she learned to make a conscious effort to talk to Craig and the doctor and to accept anything that would make her feel better. She knew she had to be all right and happy for Kriya to be all right and happy. It's so true. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Kriya had always been the happiest baby. The smile on her face would light up any room. She has been a very determined and independent little girl. She has always pushed herself with determination to do what she wants to do. She has broken down every misconception Aoife had about Down syndrome. In every physio appointment, she has been working very hard and has smashed every milestone. She loves music. She loves to be in the pool. She loves her teddy. Most of all, she just loves kissing and getting cuddles. She is the most loving little girl Aoife could ever dream of. Aoife wouldn't change her for the world, but she will do whatever she can to change the world for her. She will never let her daughter feel defined by a diagnosis. Now that takes some spirit. She doesn't look at her daughter as a girl who has Down syndrome. She is Kriya, who will do whatever she wants to do. Her parents will bring her up to be strong-minded and teach her to speak up for herself and to reach for the stars. She is just as capable as anyone else is. She has taught her family members many lessons, like being patient, finding the good and the happiness in every single day, to celebrate small achievements, and above all, not to pressurize things. She insists that what's meant to be will be in its own time and not a second sooner. Aoife is proud of Kriya's strength, her independence, her determination, and her unconditional love and streaming happiness. Kriya knows the magic of making every day an amazing day, a day of smiles and laughs. She brought happiness they never knew existed. Every milestone she reaches, she is proud as punch. Aoife always feels excited because people always say they won't do this until. So when she does it before, then her parents just feel so blessed and happy because she crushed a milestone. Aoife hopes that her future will be happy and she will do whatever she wants to do in life. She's about to start her school journey, and Aoife can't wait to see the person she is going to become. She dreams of a world of acceptance for her, a world where people don't look down on differences, but are ready to celebrate them. She wants people to look at the differences that make you beautiful. An extra chromosome doesn't make a child less of a person. If anything, it just brings more happiness and love into life. Aoife wants people to realize that people with Down syndrome in today's world are completely different than they were in the past. Times are changing. If you see their page, you will see Kriya doing everything other kids her age are doing. So why should she be treated differently just for having that extra chromosome? Please know, when you judge someone based on a diagnosis, you miss out on their abilities, their beauty, and their uniqueness. Aoife and Craig are so lucky to have been blessed with this perfect little girl, Kriya, and they want to share her beauty and happiness with the world. She has already had such an impact on people, and this is only the beginning for her. She's such an inspiration, and she puts life into the right perspective. She sees the positive in every aspect of her life. Kriya, when you read this once you've grown up, remember that you are loved unconditionally. Your mom wants you to use your smile to change the world, but not let the world change your smile. Your mom wants you to change misconceptions about Down syndrome and never, ever accept anything less than you deserve. Your mom wants you to teach people how to treat you. She is confident that you can do anything. Guys, like, share, inspire, and spread the idea that love doesn't count chromosomes, and life is the right of every child, not a special privilege for the fortunate, the planned, and the perfect ones.